One of my biggest rules for dating after divorce is that you must have a era. You have to date around. You have to try out a lot of different people.
So this is a divorce coach, and she likes to help newly divorced women navigate life as a single woman again. And what better way to do it than to get them back into their hoe era? How absolutely helpful. Now, this same type of person is going to give this type of advice.
I used to be married to a man who wasn't obsessed with me, but I've learned my lessons and now I only date men who are obsessed with me, and I want you to too. So let's talk about some easy, simple ways that you can tell that your man has a healthy obsession with you, as he should.
Don't you just love when women will complain that men are being oppressive or too controlling, but at the same time expect men to be obsessed with them? And some will go so far as to not accept anything other than a man that's just completely obsessed with her. I mean, you gotta make up your mind. You can't have both.
First of all, it's going to make you feel really free. After being in the confines of a marriage for many, many years, probably going with your needs being unmet, it feels amazing to step outside and have little to no commitment. Secondly, you really do have to find out what you don't like in order to figure out what you do like. And that's why I say you should date all types of men. Date the young ones, date the old ones, date the tall ones, date the short ones, date men with all different kinds of jobs, date men from every walk of life. And you just never know. You might find a connection where you never thought you would.
Okay, maybe other people are hearing different things, the fact that you're supposed to be open and not get stuck on a certain parameter, which I do agree with. But what I'm really hearing here is just a whole bunch of justifications to be able to sleep around without any consequences. And that's how you're eventually going to find the person that you want. Now, before you even go in the dating market, you should know what you're looking for. And more importantly, you should make sure that whatever you're asking for, you're also going to be bringing in return. Let's say she was looking for a guy that's kind. Well, you want to make sure that you're also kind to him before expecting that. But once you have that all figured out, you would think that you wouldn't really have to date all these different men with, by the way, I don't understand how dating men with all these different jobs is going to help you. But once you have that all figured out, you would think it would be pretty simple and you wouldn't have to date all these different guys. But, yeah, women just want excuses to be
I can wear pants. I can wear a top that shows most of my body. And I continue to do so because of all the women who fought for that. Women got the right to vote 102 years ago. That's it. There are women older than that on this planet who were not able to legally vote for the leadership in this country. We do this for them. We wear this shit for them. We do what we want. We have sex with whoever we want for them because we are still continuing to fight every single day. I am constantly hit on at my place of employment, my professional place of employment. I am treated like a child or like a sex object every single day of my life.
You really have the right to dress as provocatively as you want. What more do you want? Just to be able to run around naked? And then when, God forbid, a man looks at you, now he has to deal with the consequences. Now it's funny to me, right? Once we hit legal age, we're able to make all these decisions. We're suddenly given all this power to decide things on a larger scale than just ourselves. But when it comes to relationships, now all of a sudden we have to wait until we're in our 30s and date multiple men before we can figure out what we want because we're still finding ourselves. I mean, how stupid is that? We can't even control our own lives, but we're supposed to control things on a bigger scale than us. Yeah, that sure makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? And also, do you know why men get so confused with us women? It's because you have one woman like this, dressing provocatively, almost showing her entire top. But she's complaining that men are staring at her and she doesn't want men's attention. But then you'll have a woman say the complete opposite.
We need to bring back hitting on women in the gym because I genuinely miss it. I don't know what you guys are so scared of. I don't know if it's the fact that you're just busy, which more power to you, King. Love that. But I want to meet somebody that has a similar lifestyle as me. So the gym is the perfect spot. I mean, let's not be shy, guys. I go dressed in a skimpy outfit for a reason. Tell me I'm looking good.
Right, so objectify me, don't objectify me. And this is just a situation where it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. I mean, when I see this, it's no wonder men just don't even bother with women.
I left my boyfriend and I've been traveling for 10 days and I've slept with 22 people in that 10 days. My goal was 20 and I just hit 22 this morning. It's 1 p.m. now here in Paris and I need to check out because I'm going home. I really doubt I'm going to get another one on the board, either on the plane or like on my layover.
Right, so this is our strong, independent, modern woman. Now you would hope this is a joke, but unfortunately things like this seem to happen more and more. Now the thing that disturbs me the most about this is that this is on the internet and there's no shame. Now, that can be a good thing, right? At least, if men see this and they're thinking about dating this particular woman, well, it's better to know these things now rather than later. But that's an L. This is an L. Sleeping with 22 men in 10 days should be treated as an L, but she's treating it like it's a win. Now, my body, my choice, right? Well, yes, but it does come with consequences.
I feel like guys, they think that they like you, or they say that they like you because you have a pretty face and a nice body, and that's really all they care about. They don't actually care about you as a person or truly want to get to know what you're about. I'm definitely going to delete this, so if you see this, you're lucky, but I don't know, it's just like, oh, look at music. But yeah, they don't truly want to get to know you. They just think that you're pretty, and that's all that they care about. Nothing even happened. I just kind of realized that all my videos, I was just like hyping up dating and talking about how fun it is. And yeah, it can be fun, but also it can be draining and lonely. And I feel like a lot of what I was doing was just distracting myself. And I'm really not that good at being alone.
Right, it's all fun and games until she wakes up and realizes it's not that fulfilling, right? Or is it more the fact that the men she's wanting are no longer approaching her? I do wonder how old she is.
Or, also my birthday is Tuesday, and I'm turning 33. And I have I have a lot of emotions about that. Just about, at this age, still wanting a family and feeling like I'm never gonna find it, or I'm running out of time, or all these guys that are interested in me are freaking 26 and 27, and like, they don't want anything serious.
Right, 33. So she knows that her time is ticking. Now, she probably wants to continue hooking up, but, the only way they start figuring out that their time is running out is when the men that used to approach them no longer approach them and they go for younger women. A lot of times, that's the only way they figure out that their time is running out. And probably part of her does want a family, but that would include this idea of monogamy. This scary concept that feminists, or supremacists really, fight against.
Boyfriend genuinely doesn't care that I've been with hundreds of men back when I used to sleep with men for money. I'm retired now, but when I talk to other industry girls, one of their biggest fears is that they will never find love for a man who truly accepts them and their past. And from my own experience, that fear is really so true. I was in relationships throughout most of my career. There are men who will accept you. You just have to tolerate nothing less. Like when I was dating, I had zero tolerance for anything but full acceptance. My past, my career, and the fact that I still mentor other workers and remain affiliated with the industry. The more we educate people, the more they realize that this is just a job. The stigma that still exists comes simply from outdated beliefs. And I truly believe we're moving toward better times as people become more open and informed.
Be informed of what? That you can be a whore and just get away with it? Because that's what eventually women will do. They will teach the next generation how to whore. Once they expire, that is. And you're tolerating nothing but full acceptance, as if even though you're run through, you're somehow still a prize in all this. Now, only a simp with no self-respect would put up with it, which unfortunately we have way too many of those still around. Now, maybe I'm a pessimist, but I always think that once you're a hoe, more than likely you stay as one. And even though she settles down with, somebody that puts up with it, eventually she is going to cheat.
Titled, Am I the Asshole for Falling Out of Love with My Wife After She Took a 7-Week Vacation?
Oh.
I, 32 male, have been married to my wife, 30 female, for 4 years, and we've been together for 8. She's a stay-at-home mom. We have Irish twins, 1 female, 2 male, which have been incredibly taxing for my wife. She wanted a solo vacation break for a few weeks where she would travel to different states, visit her high school and college friends, go to concerts, and do a lot of fun stuff.
This lady's definitely been on social media. Now she wants her fun. fun. I mean, of course, we don't know the full story, but what could be so terrible that you would want to be away from your children and husband for 7 weeks? I mean, she is a stay-at-home mom, which is a huge privilege right now. Her husband takes care of her financially and probably does more things around the house too. What can be so terrible? And can you imagine if the roles were reversed and the man decided he wanted to go on a 7-week vacation? He would get completely roasted for it.
She asked if I would be okay with it. I asked if she could make it a couple of weeks shorter, because 7 weeks of managing our 2 children alone sounded really daunting, especially since work was also getting taxing recently. I do work remote, so at least that worked in my favor. My wife and I discussed for a couple of days, and I ultimately agreed with her that she did deserve a break because of what she has been through the past few years. And so she took her vacation.
Classic example of her own happiness coming before the well-being of her own family. Realize that this guy is working a full-time job, taking care of his kids, and on top of that, paying for his wife's extended vacation.
The first week managing our children alone was extremely difficult, and I did feel like I was losing my mind. But I survived. My sister came over to help me from the second week on. She was honestly a lifesaver. So from the second week on, my sister stayed over at my house to help with my children, and a huge burden had been lifted off of my shoulders. I was also really able to focus on work and meet my deadlines. To be brutally honest, I did not miss my wife at all. I was emotionally and mentally relaxed and also had a lot of fun with my children and my sister. I felt a sense of betrayal that my wife had actually gone through with the 7-week vacation. I slowly fell out of love with my wife. When she came back from her vacation, she was super refreshed and recharged, but to be honest, I was a bit indifferent. My wife tried to initiate the first night she came back, which I rejected because I said I wasn't feeling it. The subsequent days, I had the same level of indifference in our day-to-day life, and she probably noticed it, but didn't say anything.
This is the problem with thinking we have so much freedom and we're so entitled to the point where we think we can just drop everything the moment we feel like it. In her case, sounds like she was feeling overwhelmed with taking care of newborns, which I get they're a lot of work, but why not try to solve it before it became a problem? Because the husband did have a sister that was willing to help her. Instead of just immediately going to abandoning the family, why not try to get some help first? But unfortunately, a lot of modern women think they can just abandon anything the moment it becomes a little bit difficult. Now, this seems to be the common end result.
Being single and 46 sucks. And I'm fucking tired. And I make jokes about the fucking buffoons that I have been encountering in dating. But in reality, this is my reality. All the good men have gotten married in their 20s and 30s because they're good men.
Well, if you wanted that, then the time to do it is when you're younger, not when you're 46. Now, if you're calling men names and being condescending towards them, that's really not going to help you. If you want a successful relationship with a man, well, what do you know? At the very least, you probably don't want to hate men. Anyway, that's all the crazy I'm dealing with today. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.